are you? Phil here with High Performance Real Estate Advisors. This week's video, I wanted to cover flood insurance and a couple other things that are very important when you're, considering buying a house. Also, some things to consider when you're selling your house too. That will be a situation that could come up with a buyer and whatnot. So that at least if you're selling your house, you're aware of the potential things that could pop up in the middle of a transaction. So flood insurance is changing in Florida and is changing very drastically. Right now, I know they've changed the flood maps. They've added certain properties that are within, proximity of the ocean or canals of some sort into flood zones when they were not. They've done that over the past few years, but the hurricane that came through last year, Hurricane Irma, really changed a lot of stuff. It drastically changed the insurance for property insurance in regards to wind and hurricanes, and it has altered the mindset for flood insurance. So they're, from what I'm hearing, and I've heard two different stories, they are going to be putting anybody in flood zone BX mandatory flood insurance by 2027. But I also have heard that they are going to be putting the entire state of Florida with flood insurance by 2027. So if you're in a flood zone X, which the whole state is, then basically you would be expecting probably an additional $300 to $500 per year of flood insurance on top of your current insurance payments for your home and your taxes. So it'd be added into your mortgage virtually. And if you're in a flood zone BX, I think they're going to actually take flood zone BX and incorporate that into flood zone AE. So right now, if you have a $250,000 home, give or take, and you're in flood zone AE, the yearly premium is roughly about $3,500 per year. So I wanted to show you guys whenever, in case you're buying a house, you can do a little bit of research. Now, FEMA flood maps look like this. This to me is like looking at kanji or something. It's not even, it's a very dysfunctional FEMA website, and I can't hardly figure it out. It doesn't let you zoom in. It's just very, very dysfunctional. But it does give you, if you have to go to FEMA and you have to look around, there's some other maps out there, but most of them rely on FEMA to produce their maps. So this is kind of what you see. If you have questions about flood insurance, it's best to call an agent and call us for sure. But I just want to go in here and show you what I'm talking about, because our flood maps are much, much better. So, we go in here and look at the overall property. Now we can zoom in with our software. Let's just say you're looking at Tarpon Springs. Some of these houses here, like let's pull up this house here, it's for sale at 610. So on here, this is flood zone X500, right? So that would be considered flood zone X. And we can go right here to flood map. Boom, click it. There it is. So this is what it looks like on a flood map. They have, it's color coded. So X500 is what we call BX. If you look at your insurance documents, X500 is BX, and basically what that says is that there's like a 1% chance or over a 1% chance every 500 or 50 years, I don't know which one it is, that you'll get a major flood. Flood zone X is like under 1% chance that you'll get a major flood within 100 years. So they're raising these flood insurance rates in flood zone X and X500 to offset the cost for people in AE is what they're doing. So the whole state looks like it's going to be under this stuff. But let's see if we could find some other examples. But yeah, this is a great tool here, because the thing is that these flood maps change a lot. Like you'll come in here and some of these zones that are yellow, you'll come back and they'll be more orange, closer to the purple. Like they always are changing these based on when you buy a house, they do a survey, and part of a survey is an elevation certificate. So those elevation certificates come in and they're given to the FEMA federal government gets in touch with those, and they adjust these flood maps all the time. So like this here, that X right there, there's a really good chance that that's going to be an X500 or AE the next time anybody buys or sells a property in here. You know, like this little area here, that's a little tiny island X there. That's as soon as somebody buys in there and they do an elevation on it, boom, this will be gone. Probably this here, this X500 will be in flood zone AE really soon. So it's just good information. You can see it on ours exactly what to expect in the future. Because I mean, if money's tight and you buy a house here on Castle Terrace, and I mean, all it takes is one house to sell in here, and your insurance or your mortgage company to contact you and say, hey, the insurance is requiring us to provide flood insurance on your property, and now you're in flood zone AE, so it's required, and that on a house in here is going to probably be about $3,000 more per year. And I know this because it happened to me, so it's not an uncommon thing. Let's zoom out a little bit, but you can see that, well, you can't, it doesn't let you color code past a certain point. But I mean, all of this is all Tampa Bay. It's all in flood zones, just everywhere. Anywhere near a lake or a swamp is going to be a flood zone AE. So this is all down Trinity, but this all is going to be, at some point from what they're saying, going to have flood insurance on it. So just something to think about. And another website I wanted to go over with you guys really quickly. This is actually a public website. It's a great website. This is the let me go back to the original page. See if we can find it. Hang on one second. This is a sinkhole map. Okay, well, you have to write this down. This is the sinkhole map for Florida. So, you know, you can zoom way out. This is kind of scary. You're like, whoa, look at this. The whole entire county of Pinellas and the whole Hillsborough County, there's sinkholes everywhere. Polk, Hernando. But what we do with clients is this is what you do. You zoom in, and you can kind of get an idea when you zoom into a certain point. You can see where the clusters are at. You know, like there's less here in Tarpon Springs than there is over here clustered in Tampa, and then clustered here off of Van Dyke. Lots of clustering right here. Spring Hill, you know, this little area here, this little area here, those are very clustered. Let me see if I can zoom in, because when you see this, it looks kind of, it'll freak you out a little bit, but as you zoom in closer, let's see if this map will load. Let's see. Whoa, what did I do here? Oops. Okay, it's not letting me zoom in for some reason. Let's see if they pop up here. Well, it's not zooming in. There's a glitch on the map or something. But typically, when you go to this website, you can zoom in and you can look around these little neighborhoods and you can see all the little clusters. You know, you might see 4 or 5 on a street. Yeah, it's glitching, so I can't really provide that exact data here, but yeah, it's just not zooming in. But anyways, once they get this map fixed, you can zoom in and you can see. But what you don't want to see is you don't want to buy a house where there's 2 or 3 within a block radius or right next door to you. You know, you want to look for these clusters and avoid them. That's what we do, just to make sure that there's no issues with sinkholes. It's how you verify it. This is a geothermal map, and it's just not zooming in correctly, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to just bring you guys this basic information on flood insurance, how you can look it up, how you can look up sinkholes, just to protect yourself when you're selling your house, just to keep you guys informed and give you as much information as possible. So anyways, till next week, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you then.